22nd. We have a quorum here this evening, so opening, call the meeting to order. Kelly, roll call, please.
Hey, John Lastly, absent. Dan Bayshore, absent. Kevin Krulik.
Present.
Jeremy Lawler, absent. Keith Campbell.
Here.
Ashley Paddock.
Here.
Brian Tandy.
Here.
Allie Mullen.
Here.
Lori Gross, absent.
Okay, we have a quorum. Okay, there's no old business, Ben. Dan, is there any old business that you know of? Okay, let's accept that and go to the new business. Docket number 22-3, Little Angels Daycare requesting development plan approval to construct an addition at their property located at 925 Hendricks Drive. The property is zoned PBC, Planned Business Commercial. Ben?
Sorry, I just walked in late. Did we approve the minutes from last month already? Did I miss that?
No, we missed it.
Okay.
I'll get that after you're done.
Well, actually, Matt's going to present this one. I thought.
Okay, all right. Well, Matt, hang on. We'll approve the minutes, and we'll go ahead and do that. Call the roll, please.
Motion to approve those minutes
Right.
from the prior meeting
I'll second.
as written.
We have a motion and a second.
No, Ashley, thank you. Okay. Kevin Krulik. Yes. Keith Campbell.
Yes?
Ashley Paddock.
Yes.
Brian Tandy.
Yes.
Allie Mullen.
Yes.
Okay, Kevin.
All right, good evening, Board. We're here with docket 22-3, Little Angels Daycare Center. This property, some of you are familiar with, located on Hendricks Drive, right to the west of Hattie B. Stokes Elementary School. They are, I can pull up the location just so everybody can be familiar with where we're referring to. There we go. Pull up the screen here, we can see the existing daycare center that's been there for quite a while now, with existing parking and some playground equipment. The daycare center is proposing an approximately 3,300 square foot addition to the rear of their property. And I will pull up the plans here. This is turned sideways, so north is to your left. We have the existing building that's shown in white here, and then the proposed addition is towards the back here again, about 3,300 square feet, probably 5 rooms and I think 2 or 3 bathrooms to be added, so a significant improvement or significant addition to this site. Along with this proposed addition, they are extending the drive aisle along the eastern side, which is between the building and Hattie B. Stokes Elementary, so there will be a 24-foot drive aisle to go through there, and then they are adding the required parking spaces for this business. As we'll look on the development plan here, we do have a proposed dumpster with all the appropriate screening towards the rear of the property. The architectural standards on the architecture on the building will match the existing building, so we'll have a seamless transition from new to old. The only thing that would vary from our development standards is earlier this month, the Little Angels was in front of the Board of Zoning Appeals for a variance. If we look along the north side, or I'm sorry, the east side of the property line here, it's kind of hard to tell, but there is an existing drainage ditch that is there, along with both underground and above ground utilities. So placing parking lot perimeter landscaping is almost an impossibility. There's just not enough room. So at the February 7th BZA meeting, they were granted a variance for that perimeter landscaping. But we were able to work with the applicant and have them move some of that, what would be required landscaping along the eastern portion towards the north side. And you can see along the front here, this northern parking lot now is much more landscaped than what it currently is. So if you drive by now, there's not much landscaping at all, and they're adding significant shrubbery as well as additional shade trees and street trees along the frontage. So that was a nice trade-off there, since they were unable to get them along the eastern parking lot, pulling them up front to where it'd be a little more visible to passerbys and dress up that frontage along Hendricks Drive a little bit. So Going through the staff report kind of quickly, the lot and everything doesn't change. It meets all our applicable width and frontage standards, setbacks, height requirements. I touched on the parking. They are not indicating any proposed new lighting right at this time for back there, but if they do, then obviously they will need to be required to meet our UDO standards with light intensity and spillage. The landscaping, we talked about that. Everything that is provided meets our applicable requirements with the exception of the variance that was granted. No additional signage is being proposed with this. And again, the architectural requirements meet the planned business commercial zoning district that this is located in, and the building's going to be the proposed lap siding to match the existing structure. So as I quickly run through that, in review of the submitted development plan, Lebanon Planning staff finds that the UDO requirements for the subject site have been met. Staff recommends approval of the development plan contingent on two conditions. One is that the applicant adequately addresses any remaining City of Lebanon Technical Advisory Committee comments prior to any building permits being filed. And also, if applicable, the applicant must submit a lighting plan and photometric plan that meets all applicable UDO standards prior to the application for any building permits or any site improvements. And with that, I'll answer any questions you may have.
Okay, anyone on the board have questions?
And something that I will mention, because of our smaller numbers tonight, we would need a unanimous vote for this to qualify for approval to be met. So, because we're lacking 4, we need 5 yay votes in order for this to qualify. So, any questions?
Will there be a fence on the, I guess, the east side over there, or anything
There is not
between the
enough
barriers?
room along that side to get a fence in there. With the overhead and underground utilities and the drainage swale, let me see if the overhead site, you can kind of get a better idea. You can see the shadow of that swale running through there, and getting a fence in there, or having enough setback for that fence with the drive aisle that's proposed in there, it just would not fit.
It's fair.
Yeah, any other questions from the board? Okay, would the applicant like to come forward and make a presentation, please?
Good evening, Commission. My name is Joseph Lisi. I'm an architect. I own Progress Studio. Our address is 1103 East 10th Street in Indianapolis. And the project will have exterior lighting, so that's going to be part of the TAC process. We are only proposing wall sconces mounted on the exterior facade. They're going to be full cutoff. The building eave height is fairly low, so our intent there is to only illuminate the accessible route from the building to the parking lot, just have safe passage, and that's pretty much it. So as we work through the TAC process, we're in the process of getting the photometric plan created, and then we'll be sharing that with the advisory committee. So if you have any other specific questions related to the project, I'd be happy to answer those. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone on the board have questions? Okay, not seeing any. Need a public hearing, but you have to have some public in here. So I don't see any. We'll open it anyway, and then seeing nothing come to it, we'll close it. Okay, thank you. Okay, I would entertain a motion on this docket 22-8, or not 8, rather, I'm sorry, 22-3. Yep, 22-3.
I will make a motion that we approve docket number 22-3 with the recommendation that we follow the TAC comments, that we address those adequately, and approve the lighting plan that the applicant submits based on the UDO standards.
We have a second?
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Kelly, we call the roll, please.
Kevin Krulik. Keith Campbell.
Yes?
Ashley Paddock,
Yes.
Brian Tandy,
Yes.
Ally Mullen.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. It passed, okay? Thank you, and good luck. Okay, Ben, you're next.
All right. The second item on our agenda tonight is docket number 22-12. We are looking at a text amendment to the Unified Development Ordinance related to prohibited uses within the Thoroughfare Overlay District. In this case, we're actually adding a use to the prohibited use table. And let me pull up a map here. So just a little bit of history here. We have received, I couldn't even tell you how many requests or inquiries regarding putting a new gas station in Lebanon just in the last 6 to 12 months. Probably at least a half a dozen inquiries, and they kind of represent all of the various regions of the city, both downtown and all of our corridors. And the one thing as we're looking at, I actually had Matt put this map together just showing our both existing and proposed gas station locations, and you will see that there is at least 2, if not more than 2, at every major interchange along the interstate, and as well as the State Road 32 corridor has several additional ones as you head into downtown, and then the North Lebanon Street corridor has about 5 on its own too. So there's really kind of a feeling amongst staff that we are fairly well served by gas stations currently, and particularly in our primary corridors. So we really felt like we wanted to take a look at this and figure out if there were ways where we could, I don't know if restrict's the right word, but really take a look at those primary corridors and figure out, at least for the foreseeable future, to restrict placement of new gas stations in those corridors. And actually, we're planning to do a major overhaul of the UDO this year. And so this placing a prohibition on our primary corridors will allow us time to figure out exactly how we want to address gas stations in the future. I don't know that I'm necessarily suggesting to you we don't need any more gas stations ever, or in particular locations we might need some, but I think we really want to take a look and figure out the best way to address gas stations in the future with our UDO update. So what we're proposing right now, just to kind of give us a little bit of breathing room to try to figure out exactly how to address gas stations in our UDO update, is we are proposing adding it as a prohibited use within the Thoroughfare Overlay District, and this would prohibit them on State Road 39, State Road 32, Indianapolis Avenue, and Lafayette Avenue. So those would be the primary corridors. Actually, you can kind of tell exactly where they're at on this map because that's where all the gas stations are now. You see primarily State Road 39, State Road 32, and then some on Indianapolis Avenue. So what we're doing for the foreseeable future is to prohibit them in that Thoroughfare Overlay District. And that will give us time as we do the UDO update over the next about 9 months or so to really figure out the best way to address those. I think ultimately, as we're kind of thinking about this, there may be targeted areas where we can see there might be need for some additional gas stations as we grow into those areas, possibly west on State Road 32, south on State Road 39, or as Waterford develops to the south of the community, I can see there might be some need further south in the community as well. So we're trying to figure out the best way to do that in our UDO update. But this amendment to the Thoroughfare Overlay District would give us some time to really figure that out best as we're moving forward. So this process would be actually an ordinance that would need to be adopted by the Common Council. So the Plan Commission's responsibility is really to review this and provide a recommendation to the Common Council on that text amendment. So with that then, staff has recommended that the Plan Commission forward the proposed text amendment to the Common Council with a favorable recommendation. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
We have some old sites that were gas stations in past lives. Are they covered under this, or would they have to come back?
Anything that's not currently being used as a gas station would have to come back before. So yeah, we obviously have some that are old,
Right.
mothballed sites. About every site it seems like we come across there's a buried tank or something like that because it used to be a gas station. So in this case, we basically have 15 existing with one that's been approved, the Casey's gas station out in Gateway Marketplace. Those would all be permitted to continue operations exactly as they are. So they would technically become non-conforming uses, but they would be allowed to continue operations as they currently exist, make improvements or repairs as necessary that they need to do. This would really just address any potential new gas stations that would be coming in.
Good, thank you.
So if a company really wanted to open a station, could they offer to buy one out, and then would they, if it's already a gas station, would it be okay if it changes ownership, or would
Yes.
they have to go through
Yeah.
this?
Yeah, so as long as it continues to be a gas station, it could change ownership 100 times. This is only just if somebody were wanting to place a new gas station in a place where there did one exist currently. And several of our owners are actually considering investments in their properties right now, and we're encouraging that. But so that this wouldn't affect them in any way to be able to make those improvements.
Okay, any other questions for Ben? We have to, you want a motion made here this evening?
Well, we'll have to do a public hearing, obviously.
Right, I know,
There's no
but I'm
public hearing,
saying-
but yeah, what I would ask is that you provide that recommendation to forward it to the council with a favorable recommendation.
Okay, again, I'll open up the public hearing. Now, seeing none, I guess I can close it. Okay, thank you. Ben? So-
Yeah, if there are any further questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
I would motion to send docket 22-12 with a favorable recommendation to the council.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second for docket number 2212. Okay. We call the roll call, please?
Kevin Krulik. Keith Campbell.
Yes?
Ashley Paddock.
Yes.
Brian Tandy.
Yes.
Ally Mullen.
Yes.
Okay. Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yep. I don't see any other business. And one other last thing to do.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn in a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We're adjourned.